I literally just woke up. It's about to turn 7 a.m. I'm going in for, oh, there's a cat hair. There we go. I'm going in for my first sip of coffee. That's funny. I told Ryan that I didn't want to be kind of artificial with you guys and like fake, and I feel like it's almost impossible because a lot of videos are more aesthetic if you set up the background and do things with the background. Like that plant table doesn't go there, but I put it there because my backgrounds need to look nice. Obviously it's not that aesthetic. It's like we got the lamp, the light in the background that's not doing anything, but that's where I keep it most of the time, so it's just gonna chill there. I have the windows open again, so hopefully you enjoy the bird noises. It's pretty quiet at this time of day. There's not a lot of cars or people in my apartments like driving around and stuff, so I figured that we can just leave the windows open. So it's been a long time, probably like a year or so, since I've done a Q&A and answered your questions. So I usually see them more as like cop-out videos, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just keeping it real with you guys today. I used to film them when I didn't know what else to film, and I feel like that's, you know, I'm putting the creativity and like the stuff on you guys, and that's not your job. But I feel like sometimes I genuinely want to or answer the questions that you guys have for me. So I figure today's No Makeup Monday. Yes, it's a little bit of I don't know what to film, so I'm gonna ask my viewers, and also a little bit of I know you probably have some questions because I haven't answered anything in a long time. My life has completely changed since the last Q&A, so I figured you guys would have some questions about it, and you do. So Instagram's pretty cool now where you can like the comments on here, so I'm gonna answer like the top 3 most liked comments on this Instagram post, and then we'll get into like some random ones just to make it fair for everyone, you know. The top comments had a lot to do with living with Ryan, relationships, things like that. So the #1 question that got liked the most is, how is living with Ryan? Did it change your relationship a lot? If yes, how? So I moved in with my boyfriend December 9th this last year, 2017. I told you there weren't going to be cars, and now there's cars. I can say it's changed my perspective of the relationship. I don't know how much it has on his end, because I have never been happier. Like, I love living with Ryan. We're just so in sync together, and I was worried because he's the kind of guy who has more opinions about things. Like, he wants to have an opinion about decor and furniture that we pick out and things like that. So I do hesitate a little bit when I'm out and buying home decor without him, because, you know, I try not to do that too much because he does want to have an opinion, and I respect that, and I actually really appreciate that. But we've had a really good balance of picking things out together. We've bought furniture together and like items together, so been loving that. And we are actually probably going to be renewing our lease here. We want to stay here for a couple years because it's just the perfect apartment for us, and like the location's great and just everything about it. We're just very happy here, so we'll probably renew the lease for 1 or 2 more years here, which you guys know how much I move, so I'm all down for that. I'm ready to settle for a couple years in one place. So everything that has changed about our relationship living together has been for the positive. Like, it's just amazing. And actually I was nervous because we are 2 different people. Like, he is a night person and I'm a morning person. Like, I love the mornings. I love waking up early, and I just like morning time. And I was nervous that that would conflict. Is that the word? Anyway, I was nervous that that would mean that we are on opposite schedules, so we wouldn't either see each other, we wouldn't like wake up next to each other, you know, like the romantic you know, cliche that you think of when you think of living with your significant other. That's not realistic though. Like, you don't wake up at the same time all the time as your significant other. It's just not gonna happen. You don't go to bed at the same time with your partner as much as you think you might, unless you guys are like on the same schedule, but I guarantee you most of the time you're gonna want to go to bed before or stay up later. It's just, that's what's gonna happen. That's real life. Because you have to keep in mind that you are still 2 individuals living together that are 2 separate people. You're not becoming one person. I don't believe in the whole 2 people becoming one, because no, you're 2 individuals. You have 2 different lives, 2 different schedules, 2 different, you know, interests, and that's okay. That's totally fine. Ryan and I are polar opposites in some ways, but I actually really appreciate our opposite schedules like that, where he goes to bed super late and I wake up super early, because he has his me time in the evenings when I go to bed at like 9, in between 9 and 10, and so he stays up until like midnight or 1, and then I wake up at like 7 and he doesn't wake up until like 9 or 10. So we have a couple hours to ourselves every day, whether or not he works or not, because he does work outside the home. I'm self-employed. I work at home. He doesn't seem to mind that I'm home 24/7. I was really scared about that as well because I do work from home, and so I was like, you know, I'm gonna be home all the time. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'm like, no, like all the time. I'll go into the next question, which is thoughts on having kids and getting married. Definitely perspective is completely changed. I have been feeling like I want to definitely have a kid after seeing so many babies around me in my life. I definitely want one, but I know realistically for Ryan and I, if it were to be Ryan that happens with, it'll be down the line. Like, and I'm totally cool with that. I don't necessarily want to rush it just because my body's ready when we're not financially ready or mentally ready. My thoughts on marriage have changed as well. Like, I feel like there's so much pressure on couples in society that have been together for a long time to get married and to like get engaged and stuff like that. And for me, as long as I have Ryan and like we live together, that's a huge commitment, and the fact that he could give that to me, perfect. I'm cool with that. I just feel like the pressure it's too overbearing. I think the couple needs to do it on their own time, and I know there are people like, oh, you've been together for 5 years, why doesn't he put a ring on it, you know? The next most liked question is, do you believe in astrology, the Myers-Briggs personality test, and love languages? Well, in case you guys are curious, I get the question all the time what my Myers-Briggs is. I am INFJ. I took it in high school though, so that could be completely different now because that was 10 years ago that I took it. Astrology, I'm a Pisces, in case you couldn't tell. I think I'm pretty clearly a Pisces. It's weird because I don't necessarily believe in astrology, but I strongly identify as Pisces. Love languages, I think mine is, what was mine? I think it's acts of service as well as the person who asked it, because I love doing favors for people, and I think that really shows when they go out of their way to do something for you, that shows that they really love you. I definitely believe in the love languages to an extent. Like, I think it helps us understand the way we love a little bit better. I don't think it's 100% like the only definition for how we love. But then the Myers-Briggs, I think also not 100% defining of our personalities, but it helps us understand a little bit better. Have you seen the second season of 13 Reasons Why? If so, how did you feel about it? This comment has 3 likes. I did watch it. I tweeted a tweet yesterday about it, how I felt, although when you're watching this, it'll be 2 days ago. I tweeted it on Saturday. I am going to talk about it on my vlog channel, I think, and do a whole video over there. I don't want to do a whole video on my main channel. I did last year. I will link it if you want to go watch it. But I don't think it's necessary for the second season. I'm just going to do a commentary video on my vlog channel. Again, I will link over here, and it's linked down below always, so you can go subscribe there. I should be posting it within the next couple days. When do you plan on going to graduate school? Thanks for being one of the most authentic and awesome content creators. I admire you. Oh, thank you so much, Peachy King. Graduate school and the truth about life after college, man. Let me tell you, I got a bunch of questions about what I'm doing with my degree. This is my answer. I don't know. At this point in my life, I am kind of worried that I am going to regret getting my bachelor's and taking out student loans to get it, because I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I'm reading a bunch of self-help books, right? Just bear with me, this is going somewhere. And they're kind of saying, like, you can have anything you want, you can do anything you want, and I believe that with a grain of salt. Like, okay. There are times where you have to do things that you don't want to do to get somewhere in life. You have to work shitty jobs, or, you know, do things that aren't perfect, live places that aren't perfect to get to the place where you want to live, you know? So I'm not all about that positivity and just manifest everything and get on the same frequency as what you want and things like that. I'm not really there. I'm more realistic down here on earth. But with that being said, since I've been working from home for 5 years full time, I have decided that I was meant for that. My goal in life is to permanently work from home, like permanently. And I know that's going to take time to get to a place where that can happen, because YouTube is not a forever career. Anyone who thinks that they're going to do YouTube forever is joking themselves. Where am I going with this? My degree. So I think what I'm going to start doing is something Ryan suggested, which I think is a great idea, and that is volunteer somewhere, because I'm so still intimidated by job interviews and people of power, especially in the psychology field. I just don't feel equivalent to anyone in that, because I've done nothing with my degree. So I'm at the point where I'm like kind of regretting even going, which is silly, because it's like I'm proud of it. I'm happy I have it, but I don't know what I'm eventually going to use it for. Like, I have nothing planned. And that's okay for me right now, because I need to prepare for things. Graduate school, not sure if that's in the cards for me. So that means I would not get my dream job of being a school counselor. But we shall see. I don't really know what the future holds. I change my mind and my career choices every day, it seems. Like, I don't know. Are you planning on traveling abroad anytime soon? Oh man. Okay, so I am 28 years old and I've never been out of the country, let alone the West Coast. I've only been to Nevada, California, and Washington. So I was thinking for my 30th birthday, I would go international for the first time. And I know that seems like 2 years from now. You could manage it now. I do have to get a passport and everything, but I think reasonably I can plan something for my 30th birthday. Where that'll be, I'm not sure. It would probably be with Ryan. Anyway, I had a Lyft driver recently that went to Norway and he was raving about it. He said that he would actually move there. So I would love to go to Norway. I'm mostly German and Norwegian, so it'd be cool to go home to my peeps, you know. But also, Ryan and I really want to go to Japan, so... But we are thinking about doing a like 6-state road trip, 6 or 7 state road trip, maybe next year, and then this year we'll do like a mini state road trip of like, or interstate, where we go to like 2 states or something. I don't know, but I do want to travel more in the US because that's a lot easier for me. I'm not much for traveling to cities, so if it was like a camping trip that where we just went to different campsites and Airbnbs and things, instead of like staying in a hotel in a city, I feel like that would make me feel so much better. Do you feel pressured to make videos you don't want to, or have you ever felt pressured? If yes, why do you think? Absolutely, and any YouTuber that says no, they're probably doing it right, but I think they're lying a little bit. I think not just content do we sometimes feel pressure, but also our schedules. Like, I mean, lately I've been more of, you know, not giving a shit as much. If I'm not feeling like filming, I don't want to make you guys sit here and listen to me. So I'll skip No Makeup Monday sometimes, or like the second video of the week. I've been kind of weird about my scheduling lately, but that's because I don't want to feel that pressure. I know you guys don't mind if I take a couple mental health days and don't film for a week or two, you know? So I'd rather do that than like force it as much. And I think there are definite YouTubers, just knowing what it's like on this side of the camera, I know there are definite YouTubers who push themselves really, really hard, and that's amazing, but I know they have their days where they don't want to film, and they do it anyways, and that's okay too. I wish I was more like that. For me, if I'm feeling a certain way, I just have to feel it. I cannot. I'm so bad at sucking it up. If I'm like going through something mentally or in my personal life, I can't fake it. I can't work. I can't. It's horrible. I really need to get past that, but I'm kind of ruled by my emotions, so. But as far as content, I do feel a little bit of pressure to film certain kinds of content for you guys. For instance, I sat down to write out an outline for a serial killer video. I have 2 videos in mind for serial killer videos, and I wasn't feeling the subject. I don't know if it's just that doesn't inspire me anymore. I am a little bit worried about working so hard on videos and then it not getting monetized, which I'm just keeping it real. That is really discouraging, even though we do it for more than the money, but when it's your full-time job, we have to think about those things. You just have to. So I might do a more mild version of the serial killer videos I was thinking of, but that content lately and like the spooky stuff has not been as interesting to me as like the lifestyle home things lately. I'm still watching scary movies, mind you, loving scary stuff, but as far as content on my channel goes, I feel like it's a little bit different. I'll probably come back with that, just like I did with the beauty videos that came back. Do you have a Spotify or a YouTube playlist with your music? And a couple other people asked, like, what music have you been loving? Can you share with us your favorite music lately? I will link my Spotify playlist down below that I've been working on lately. I have my new meditation playlist, which is basically just like calm, not really lyrical music. And then I have my spring 2018 playlist that I've been adding to and stuff. So I'll link those two down below if you want to see what I've been listening to the most. Also, over the winter, all I listened to was 13 Reasons Why soundtrack. Love the soundtrack. It is so good. You can knock the show as much as you want to, but love the soundtrack, and I would just listen to the playlist on Spotify that someone else made. I recently watched your older videos from 2011. How do you think you've changed since then? Besides my appearance, I think it's true when you get older, you really stop caring what other people think. Like, I literally do not care. And it's so, I mean, I care about the people around me, like what they think. If I'm meeting someone and like for instance, I just met someone recently, and I was, you know, concerned about what she thought of me and stuff like that. So I do want to come across as like a good person, mostly to the people who I think, who I'm like meeting and they have a purpose in my life. So I probably still care a little too much with those kinds of people, and like my friends and family and Ryan's family. I obviously care how those people think of me, but general public, if I am going to the store, I could care less if people like look at me and think I look weird or I'm dressed funny or I don't know what. It's really amazing how that kind of happens over time without you even having to really work on that, without you having to really try. I'd say that's the biggest thing that's changed since 2011, and I'm just so much more confident in myself because I don't care about what a lot of other people think. I've faced so many fears since then. My life has changed completely since 2011, like, dear God, I would never go back. And sometimes I look through old videos and I think it's a different person. Like, I feel that different and like detached from my old self, which is kind of bad, but I think I can look back on it now with perspective, and that is just, that's a far gone person for me. Like, I don't know who that is. Tips for someone thinking of going vegetarian. Any simple yet nutritious recipes you recommend? Chickpeas should be your best friend. If you don't like chickpeas, I don't know what to tell you. No, you can still be a vegetarian without chickpeas, but they are amazing for making like fake meaty dishes, kind of. You can make fake tuna salad. It kind of tastes more like a fake egg salad to me because I use Dijon mustard in it. I also love making barbecue chickpeas for sandwiches. One of my favorite dishes that I make, that I just made last night, it's actually vegan, is Mexican quinoa. So good, done in one pot. I'll link the recipe for it down below. Super, super easy. My favorite thing to make though of all time, I've made it so many times, is stuffed shells. Again, I'll link the recipe for it down below. Not vegan, full of cheese, but it's great if you're a vegetarian. It is so good. It's not healthy by any means. It's all cheese, like all of it. Sorry, that wasn't nutritious, was it? The chickpeas are good for you, but I just suggested putting in tons of mayo. Vegan mayo is really good, by the way. You should try the Just Mayo brand. You can't tell the difference. It tastes a little bit more like Miracle Whip than mayo, but it's so good. Any tips on jealousy in a relationship? This has 6 likes and 2 people replied and said same. So I struggle with this a lot. I have, every relationship I've had, my whole life, I've dealt with jealousy, and it is brutal. I know I just said that I like don't care what other people think, and that I'm a lot more confident, but I am not at the place where I want to be yet. I still get really insecure, especially in the winter time when I'm feeling really depressed. I think it really comes down to thinking that you're a badass person, right? Because you are, and no matter what, the other person can walk away if they choose to. If they're not happy, they can walk away. But just know that the human resilience is so strong. We are meant to get through things like that, and you have to believe in yourself that, like I said, you are two individuals that are together. You are not one person, and so if one decides to go the other way, you're not broken. You're a whole badass human being. And as cheesy as it is, there's no one like you. There is not one other person on this earth that is like you. And I think there's a quote out there that says this, but that's your power. That's your superpower when it comes to the relationship. Your significant other is not gonna get that, or someone like you, anywhere else. So that's my pep talk for you guys today. You can get through anything. You're a badass human being, and there is no one like you on this earth. So embrace everything that makes you different. So we don't end on, you know, such a sad, low note. I'm gonna answer one more question, and they ask, a big goal for you is to live with Ryan. What is your next goal? I would say the one that I'm working on presently. I have other goals such as buying a house. I've been very keen on wanting to buy a house so bad. I have house inspo on my, you know, Instagram. You know how you can make folders and things like that. I have tons of folders of things that inspire me, and I have my dream house in there. Every time I'm out walking, I always look at the houses and like think about what I would do if I lived there. So I'm definitely pretty ready for a house, although that's going to be way down the line, obviously. I do want to publish a novel or a collection of short stories or something. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but definitely want to publish something. So those are kind of my next personal goals, I'd say, that are like big in my life. And if you guys have a big goal that you're trying to achieve, whether it's something achievable in the next year or 10 years, please leave it down below. So that's a lot of questions. That's a long video. My Q&As usually are super long. I just feel like I like them to be as minimally edited as possible so you get the real me. If you have any other burning questions, you can leave them in the comments and I will try to answer them down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.